Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trusting Your Process. It is I, Toleta, your host, and I would officially like to welcome everybody to the first installment of 2025. Happy New Year to my fellow listeners. I'd like to welcome back my old listeners. I am so happy you are back, and I'm just excited to have you here because this year is going to be different. And if you are a new listener, I would officially like to welcome you to this space. So today's installment is more of a chilled one because it's the first episode. It's all about getting to know me and just venting with me. And I think it's a good vent. I don't want to say it's a bad vent because it's a new year, it is a new month, and spirits are just high. I am thrilled that we are in the age of trying, guys. I am so thrilled about that. Just last week, me and my sister were talking about how amazing it is that everybody is trying and doing their best in this new season of the year. And it's really uplifting to see these types of things because before it was embarrassing having to put out your content and having to do what you want to do in the creative spaces. And nowadays, people are just met with such open arms and freedom to create and to explore their ideas. And I think that is something that is very amazing to see in our community of social media, especially in the places where there is community, because we all know the bad side of social media. But in any way, I also noticed that with that shift of understanding how free we are to create nowadays, it allowed me to also transition back into understanding that I can still create. You all know that creatives are always working through it, and life's like a roller coaster. I want to just say, like, life is a roller coaster of a lot of emotions. One day you're up and one day you're not, and that also happens in your creative pursuits, guys. I think one testament that I can come with this first episode is that last year really taught me how to look at myself and understand that I am not broken or I am not without my creative juices just because I am not creating. I don't know if that would make sense, but in a sense of I'd feel so stagnant when I was not creating because I didn't know maybe what to say perhaps, or how to feel about myself, because sometimes our creative blocks also do come from our own personal lives and the issues and things that we're going through. And sometimes our growth spurts aren't really issues, but they do require a lot of time from us for us to return to ourselves and take the time to heal, grow, learn, reevaluate, etc. So when that was happening with me, I had to step back from this space, and this is a space I very much enjoy. I'm sure my regular listeners will probably agree that I've always mentioned how much I love this space and how much I love just hearing my thoughts and understanding how I think and the way I think, and also it being relatable to other people's stories as well. So in not being able to do that, it really did force me to really sit with myself and understand why I was feeling certain things, why I was feeling a way that made me feel like I can't create anymore. And I had to take a lot of time to develop some internal work and develop skills to help me navigate this creative block that I had. And it was very hard. Creative blocks are not child's play because it makes you question the things that you like, and it makes you question why you even start with things that are really close to your heart, because it's easy to have an idea and want to execute it, but the process of actually executing it and the dedication and perseverance that comes with that is quite hard compared to having the idea. And that happened in a lot of things, not just necessarily my podcast, but in a lot of things where I had to really sit down with myself and always ask myself, is this still serving what I want to do in my life? Am I happy with this type of way that I am showing myself to the world? Am I happy with this, that, and that? I've always been someone who is very adamant on self-reflection and self-awareness, that I have to always question the things that I like and things that I don't like, and always have to reevaluate if those said things are still my priorities in that present moment. Because one thing that did lead me to being stuck when I was like younger is how I used to think that I could not change my mind. Sometimes as human beings, we think we can't change our minds, and we're in such a rigid state of mind that we think the things that we pursue are supposed to be things that we pursue forever. So let's say, for instance, right now I want to be an artist and I want to create art and paint and draw or whatever. I don't need to do it till I'm 80. I can do this for 2 years and just carry on with another creative pursuit. What's the one thing that I really learned last year is that as human beings, we're very multifaceted and we shouldn't dim our light in any sector of what we want to do. If you want to occupy all the spaces, then honey, do so by any means. If you can and are able enough to do those things, occupy the spaces that fuel you, occupy the spaces that want you to be there. I think sometimes that self-sabotage or self-doubt thinking is what really pulls us back from experiencing a lot of different things in our lives. I can be an athlete, a singer, a dancer, a teacher, all in one, because that's something that I really want and those are my pursuits. But oftentimes we are told to focus on one thing and focus on the goal, and the goal could be just more goals. I also just really tried to calm down my mind as well, because sometimes when you are a person who really does want to do a lot, it's hard for you to start. It's hard for you to really sit down and understand how you want to move with things, because now you're in the pursuit of wanting to do like maybe 7 things. You obviously can't do all those 7 things at once, but your mind just really takes control and makes it seem like everything is impossible, especially as an overthinker and a recovering overthinker, because I think we are allowed to change, and that is something I do want to change in this year. When you really want to do a lot of things, your mind can really take you to the randomest places in such a deep state of thought that you even end up not wanting to pursue the things that you're thinking about. And that also made me realize that I need to choose things that I really resonate with now and things that I can achieve now. Sometimes when we look at the stuff that we want to do, we look at the bigger picture instead of looking at the steps required to reach that bigger picture. And that often leads to a lot of self-doubt and a lot of anxiety, because right now when I'm thinking about a certain passion project that I want to do, I can't be thinking of the passion project when it receives its accolades or when it's validated by other people. That's going to take some time. I need to validate that pursuit within myself first, and I need to see that through and see the vision birthed right in front of my eyes before I expect it to be something in people's eyes. You get what I mean? So that also really did make it very hard to come back into my creative pursuits and my creative spaces. I'm sure you've noticed if you do follow me on Instagram, and if you do want to follow me, it is at Toledo.r. R is for my surname. But if you are a consistent follower, which I appreciate, thank you so much. You may have noticed that I haven't been posting as much, and that's really due to what I'm mentioning right now about just having your head in too many things that you can't even move and do something. You're so hyperfixated on wanting things to be perfect that you barely give yourself enough grace to start. And that isn't always a good thing. I had to learn that it really keeps you in hermit mode and really forces you to not want to do anything. And I think it's so sad to even approach life in that way, because that's not how we're supposed to live as human beings. At least to my understanding, I don't think we're supposed to live in fear. We're supposed to live with anxiety or any type of negative emotion for that matter, especially when it comes to your creative pursuits. At the end of the day, we are human and we're going to experience a lot of different emotions. But when it comes to your creative pursuits, I believe that we're meant to feel some pull towards it, some gravitational pull that really forces us to want to create, because it not exposes, but it exudes our most honest self, if I can say. In me realizing how much I needed to just stop overthinking, it really helped me understand that I still have time and I can do whatever I want, because this is my world and I am the actor, the director, the producer, and the writer. And I am in full control of what I can do for my life. So we're back and we're going to be on. And funny enough, I was also thinking about making my podcasts video-based, but it was so funny how I just felt so anxious about that idea, because it's so weird to me to sit in front of a camera alone. I have a podcast with my sister called The Naughty Corner. Please do check it out. please subscribe and join that family too. I have this podcast with her, so with someone else, it feels easier being on camera, whereas if I'm alone, it's going to feel so awkward for me to stare into the lens or whatever. So I also had to tell myself that, you know what, you don't have to force yourself right now into a new zone of creation when it comes to this podcast. At least you're exposing yourself in this podcast, but with your original podcast, it's okay to stay audio based. And I know it's more intimate. I know that this is a very safe space for us, and I love that I can connect with you guys in this way while you guys are doing your daily stuff. Some of you are probably driving right now, some of you are probably sitting, others are probably just doing their daily chores. And it's something that I really like about audio podcasts because they offer some sense of calmness and conversation without needing to have input. Even though I do want that input, please do feel free to engage with my content and just ask me anything you want to ask me. I'm no guru or monk, but I can try my best to answer whatever questions you guys may have. But yeah, like the creative era of my life was very shaky for some time, but now your girl is back and her spark is back, so that is out of the way. Moving on to relationships, guys. Relationships are so much work. Like, even having a relationship with myself is a lot of work at times. So I applaud anybody who can have multiple relationships in terms of friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships. It takes a lot to be there for people, but it also will not be a lot if that effort is reciprocated. I just want to say that when it comes to relationships, I am always trying to put my 100% into it, even though most of my friends have maybe agreed that sometimes I keep things to myself. That is only just because a lot of things that I go through, I don't think I need to speak on, especially if it's something that I'm still going through, that by the time I'm over it, it's already so late for me to tell you about it. You get what I mean? But I feel like I'm always open and ready to share whatever I need to share with my friends and family when they want to know about it. I'm not very secretive in a sense of withholding information purposefully from people. But anyway, in that regard, I just wanted to also mention how much I also had to learn to like decenter people. And that's nothing towards anybody who is in my life. That is just in my own view and how I viewed people and what it did to how I showed up for them and myself. I had to learn how to decenter people and re-evaluate their positions in my life and understand how and why they were in my life, because oftentimes I found myself being, I wouldn't say mad, but very confused as to why things had changed or things weren't the same in certain relationships and certain like groups. But it had to happen for me to realize that distance does create some rift in relationships, and it's never that people don't care about you, but it's that you're not there for them to be dependent on you, so it won't automatically go back to that when you are in this person's city or state or whatever, So I had to realize that as long as to the core I know who my friends are and I know that I can come to them any day with any problem, I will be fine. We don't need to talk every day. We don't need to conversate every day. But the fact that I can call you when I am in trouble or when I'm in need is a very big deal to me. And I love my friends. I love them dearly and I wish them all the best in their lives. I had to realize that my friends have their own lives, as do I. And the love will always be there. However, you need to always make sure that people understand the role they have in your life, and that you also understand the role that you play in people's lives, because sometimes you might put yourself at a higher, ranking in a person's life, and that's not where you are at all in their point of view, which is okay. We should decenter people because we sometimes lose ourselves in how we perceive people, and the perceptions we have of people often lead us to thinking that we're not enough or that something's missing. Like when someone you hold to a high esteem disappoints you, it makes you then look at yourself to say, hey, maybe something's wrong with me. But that's not the case. The case is you put somebody's life into a higher expectation as to what they even want or you are even supposed to do, but you just did it because this is what you expect from this person. If I've been your high school friend, now I'm expecting that closeness even in our adulthood, which isn't granted, especially if you're not in the same states, in the same environments, and amongst the same friend groups. As adults, we grow up to really understand that community is important, and community can be formed in any way whatsoever. There's no community where there are no intersections of differences and different ideologies and different beliefs that still have common ground, because at the end of the day we are all people and we all have our different views, even if we can come to mutual understanding about certain things. With relationships, guys, I just had to learn that be there for people. If you want to be important in someone's life, show up for them as well, because oftentimes we also really expect so much from others when we don't give it out, and that's so unfair and very selfish of us. And I had to learn that, and it's a day by day thing. I really do want to make effort in making my relationships with the friends I have priority this year, because I love my people. I love them so much. And if you're listening and you know that you are my friend, I love you so much. I want to show up better for you, and I want to be a better friend for you because I love you. And I don't want to speak about boys and men or whatever, because I know we're not talking about that. It's a lot. It's so nuanced, and it's just a very packed topic. I feel like I could speak about that the whole day, but I really have nothing to say besides the fact that I'm single and I'm just living my life right now. Partnerships are really the last thing on my mind. I'm trying to get my bag up, trying to take care of my family in a sense of loving on them, getting to know them more, because you never fully know your family, and there's always room to learn about someone. Even your own parents, guys, you still can learn about your parents. They have entirely different lives to you. They are also human beings on this earth having a human experience. So talk to your mom or your dad or your aunt, whoever is a guardian to you, or whoever you hold in that view. Talk to them, ask them about their lives, because they also are just girls and boys trying to live. And with friendships, I really just want to make sure that I come as honest as I can be. I come to them with sincerity and intentionality. Friendship is so fickle these days with people from the outside, so I really do value the friendships that I have, and I want to get more friends. So if you really want to also open up yourselves to new possibilities this year, hit me up. I am available. I am in Cape Town. If you want to be my friend and I want to be your friend, let's do it. I am such an advocate for community, because I feel like there's always such a grace and happiness when you're around people that you really enjoy being around. It makes you feel like life is worth living again. So this year we're also hopping on to community. I also just want to leave you guys with a very short, let's do it. I am probably one of the biggest overthinkers, and sometimes it is to detriment to my own lifestyle, but I am slowly learning to get out of it, because life is meant to be lived and the clock is ticking. Time stops for no man. I will overthink till I am 80. But this year I am saying no to that. I am saying no to being chained by self-doubt. I am saying no to self-sabotage, no to anxiety. I am here to tell you, if you are looking for a sign, this is it. You can do whatever you want to do. It is so cliche to say these things, guys, but it is so true. I also always mention that when I say these things to you guys, I'm also like basically repeating them to myself, because I also need that therapy continuously. So I just want to say that if you maybe feel like it's a bit late for you to start on something, this is like the first week of February and I just posted this. So you need to make sure that you also show up for yourself. And that can be in any way. It doesn't have to be content creation. You can show up for yourself by looking after yourself. Show up for yourself by taking care of your relationships. Show up for yourself by taking care of your house. Whatever it is that fuels you and is something that you want to pursue and actively have intent behind, I urge you to do it. I urge you to really step into the power of your being. Really step into the power of your human experience. We are so blessed to even be. Like, That's the simplest way I can put it, because it is that simple. We're so blessed to be. Yes, things are heavy at times on this earth, but there's so much beauty in all of this chaos. There's so much beauty in it, and I urge you to live your life to the fullest. Nobody is going to live it for you, and you are the missing puzzle piece in the whole picture. Without you, the puzzle is not complete. As real as it is, this is a 7 billion something piece puzzle. So without you, the picture is not complete. Make sure you show up for yourself and you do the best that you can. And the best that you can do is whatever it is to you. Do the best that you can every day, because this is your life. There's something I really wish I was really taught more when I was younger, because I admire how brave and ambitious children are. They have no room for self-doubt and anxiety when it comes to things they want to pursue, because it's, yeah, I can do it, I'm capable. What's stopping me? That now when we're into our adulthood, we are so scared to step into our power and so scared to step into who we are, because we've been taught to depend so much on the system and society. And times are changing. Times are really changing. I think you guys also have seen and are understanding that times are changing. Societal norms are changing. Social media norms are changing. Everybody is stepping into their power and being their best selves. That doesn't necessarily call to action to make everybody an influencer, YouTuber, podcaster. No, that's to say that reach for what serves you. Reach for what nourishes you. Reach for what makes you happy. If dance makes you happy, dance away, baby. If singing makes you happy, turn that mic on. If writing makes you happy, grab that book and start writing. Open up that website and start blogging. You can do whatever you want. And I think I really need to remind myself this every day, because free will is like a superpower, guys. I'm still like realizing it. My frontal lobe is developed, those who get it. So the fact that I understand that free will is a superpower, or I'm trying to understand at least, is something that's going to really change my life, because you have the autonomy to do whatever you want. And we are thankful for the privilege to even be able to do that in this world, because a lot of things are happening, and I am just grateful that I can be speaking to you guys right now, and that you can even be listening to me right now and taking in the information that I'm speaking on. It's such a privilege to have access to such things in our lives, and it's such a privilege to know that you can get help, you can get advice from people, different genres, different voices, different walks of life are at your feet. You can literally look up anything and do anything. And yes, I don't know what I was talking about this whole episode, in a sense of I just wanted to vent and just show you guys that, yeah, we're back, we're better, and we're gonna win. This was so lighthearted. I just wanted it to be cute. I am back, and trusting your process is something that is very near and dear to my heart, and I am very passionate about this project, and I'm very passionate about speaking to you guys about these things. And I hope that you guys will feel comfortable enough to talk to me, to interact, to comment, all of those good things. Let's all help each other grow. Let's all just live our best lives and just be happy. Thank you so much if you reached this point of the episode. I kept it cute, short and light, even though short is like almost 20 minutes, but you get the gist of it. It probably feels like it flew by. I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I dropped some gems that you can take with you. One of the biggest gems is to be selfish this year. Selfish in taking care of self. Take care of yourself first and let that pour out in many different ways. If you are good, everything else will be good. It doesn't work the other way around. So I urge you to please take care of yourself and be there for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Thank you to my new listeners. I hope you really do come back. And I wish you all the best this new month. And I am excited for what is to come. Thank you. Please do share, comment, and experience. I hope this really touches you and stays with you. Thank you guys. See you on the next episode. Bye.